Rajasthan take on the mighty Mumbai in match number 45 of the Indian T20 League. Rajasthan going into this one on the back of a loss to Hyderabad, while Mumbai fresh from the demolition job on Chennai. You're watching Cricket Pundits, and I'm in the company of Mandira, Lalvani, and Ayaz, Memon as we analyze this upcoming encounter. Ayaz, Mandira, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anubhav.
Ayaz, not much to fear about Mumbai, is there, for Rajasthan?
Nothing at all.
Mumbai has been a juggernaut. I don't know what Rajasthan can do to kind of stave off defeat. But look, jokes apart, Rajasthan, if you look at that team, now let me just spell it out for you very succinctly. The best fast bowler in the world, arguably, Jofra Archer. The best batsman in the world, arguably, Steve Smith. The best wicketkeeper batsman in white ball cricket in the world, Josh Butler. The best all-rounder in the world, unarguably, currently, Ben Stokes. A scintillating wicketkeeper batsman, again, white ball cricket in Sanju Samson. And this team just cannot, make for a consistent run of victories. With this kind of talent, you would expect, and believe me, before the season started, in fact, when the auctions took place, in the Rajasthan camp, there was jubilation. Has been for a year, perhaps. That, hey, it's a coup. We've got all these guys in, And as the season has progressed, we've seen guys like Shreyas Gopal and especially Rahul Tewatia who've come in and performed quite exceptionally, given their star rating or whatever. So what's gone wrong with this team? And I think it just boils down to the fact that these overseas stars, these big ticket players, these mighty reputations haven't delivered, barring Jofra Archer. He's been the best bowler in the tournament, the fast bowler. So this is the background from which Rajasthan is coming in. It's a do or die match for them. And they're playing against a juggernaut, Mumbai. Even without Rohit Sharma, they look like, they would hammer any team barring, say, Delhi currently into complete submission. That's how good Mumbai have been. So that's the scenario. And my picks for this match are from Mumbai. Quinton de Kock, he's been marvelous, just like Shikhar Dhawan. Fantastic surge as an opening batsman. And then there's Jasprit Bumrah. And the third player I would pick is Rahul Chahar. He's been so tantalizing in his length, line, and also in the turn he's been able to get, the way he disguises the leg break from the googly. So those are my three from Mumbai. And from Rajasthan, well, obviously Jofra Archer. And then I would also add Rahul Tewatia because he's proved his value with bat, with ball, in the field. He's just about everywhere, in every frame that Rajasthan is playing in the match. And the third player I will pick is not Ben Stokes, not Steve Smith, but Josh Butler. Because if he gets going and he's shown the form that can win matches, then Rajasthan have a chance.
Thank you so much, Ayaz. Mandira, over to you.
I agree, of course, with what Ayaz has said. What the mockery that Mumbai made of Chennai in their previous match, I mean, it was for all to see. Such huge disparity between the two teams. It's no wonder then that Chennai is at the bottom of the table in Mumbai. And Mumbai and Delhi keep crossing up between themselves for the top spot. As far as this particular encounter is concerned, now let's look at Rajasthan for a second. Their batting order has been all over the place. They just can't seem to settle on it. They've had a few wins, but if you see, they've been flukes, far more fluke-driven rather than any consistent performance. In the beginning, it was Sanju Samson. 2 matches in, from that time to now, we're yet to see that explosive batting. Yes, we've seen bits and parts of it, glimpses of it, but he gets out too quickly. And that might be because there's too much pressure on him, because at this point in time, Ben Stokes is not firing. Like I said, he's faced over 100 deliveries and not a single 6. What do you make of that? On the other hand, you have one, of course, there's Jofra Archer in the bowling department, who's the overseas player who's, like Atlas holding the team. From the batsman, there's Josh Butler. Now, if Josh Butler is performing the way he is, maybe it's a good idea for him to open the innings. Let him open, because with Ben Stokes getting out, there's pressure on Steve Smith, there's pressure on Sanju Samson, there's pressure. And then we leave it to Rahul Tewatia, whether it was his 5 6s in one of the first matches, or we have the Rayan Parag, or, like I said, just too many flukes and too much jugaad, if I may say so. Mumbai, on the other hand, there's no jugaad. There is a very decisive, very clean, very incisive batting attack, bowling attack, depth in the batting. Rohit Sharma, one of the topmost batsmen of the world, he's out injured, but it's really not made a dent to that team. Karen Pollard has come in to captain the matches, and he's been successful in both that he has. The players to look out for, Rajasthan, definitely Jofra Archer, Rahul Tewatia, because those two are the only real threats, I could say. If they manage to get some early dismissals where the Mumbai side is concerned, there is a chance. As far as the batsmen are concerned, definitely Jos Butler. He's been consistent in performing, and he's the one who they will look towards to get a big score, whether they're defending or chasing. And as far as Mumbai is concerned, Ishan Kishan, very impressive. Just hope, he keeps up the consistency. We've spoken about Surya Kumar Yadav a lot of times. So this time, let's talk about Ishan Kishan. Rahul Chahar, also, I agree with the Ayaz. He's had some big wickets. He stemmed a lot of crucial runs. So he's very, very crucial in that sense. And along with Krunal Pandya, I think their role is getting more and more important as the tracks, start slowing down, and there's a lot for spinners to find over there. And the third would be Kyron Pollard. Lethal with the bat, fantastic as a skipper, good with the ball. And he is the third that I would pick for this one.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Mandira. Ayaz, do you see an upset on the cards? You mentioned earlier on it's do or die for Rajasthan, win or bust. So do you see them surging during the last few matches of this tournament? Do you see them beating Mumbai?
I mean, look, as I mentioned, they've got such abundant talent. So if all of them click on the same day, and largely it's about Stokes. I see the point that Mandira is making that Tom Cousin can replace him, but do they have the spunk to make that change? Is really going to be the issue, because you hire a player like Ben Stokes and not play him is a big call to make. Whether it's Tom Cousin or Stokes, it needs Smith, Butler, and Jofra Archer and one more player to really click big time. Against a team like Mumbai, it's very remote that one guy will come and play an innings of a lifetime. It can happen, or take 4 wickets in a spell and destroy Mumbai's batting. It can happen, but very, very remote. So I don't see, unless the entire Rajasthan team functions like a well-oiled machine, for them to quieten or quell Mumbai. So therefore, I think Mumbai will win.
Understood. And Mumbai certainly odds-on favourites, Mandira. So the head would, of course, have to pick Mumbai. But does your heart favour Mumbai as well in this one?
Definitely Mumbai. And see, Mumbai's only defeats have been in super overs. That just shows you what they're capable of. So unless Rajasthan
barring the first match.
Barring the first match. Yes, barring the first match against Chennai. Yes. Which they've answered Chennai back good and proper. But since then, they've only lost in super overs, which basically shows you where they've come, what a long way they've reached. On the other hand, we have Rajasthan with one fluke, a few misses, another fluke, a few misses, and they have to pull a lot out of their reserves and empty their entire bank, if you ask me, to try and defeat a team like Mumbai. And convincingly, though, there's no chance. If a fluke happens in a super over situation, maybe. That's about it.
Brilliant. So that's a wrap for another episode of Cricket Pundits. A big thank you to Ayaz and Mandira, and a big thank you to all of viewers as well for having tuned in for another episode. Hope you enjoy Super Sunday. Not just watching the Indian T20 League, but also watching the content that we'll continue to churn out on our One Play Sports networks. Until next time, stay safe, take care, and cheers.